Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio with your educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. In today's video, let's explore how you can manage, heal, and yes, reverse your type 2 diabetes with natural and effective therapeutic tools. Here in the US, where I live, nearly 40 million people have diabetes, and it is the 7th leading cause of death, but it is an epidemic basically. That's why I make this video, in order to educate you so you can take the first step in reversing your type 2 diabetes successfully. Enjoy this video. To stay updated with ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, share and like it with your friends and families, and don't forget to click that bell as it notifies you every time I upload a new video. Have a look at our website, medicanova.net, at the Medica Nova Online Education Department, where you will find many certified online courses in integrated medicine, in positive psychology, mental health, homeopathy, health and wellness coaching, quantum healing, and so much more. And if you have any questions or would like to schedule your appointment with the practice Medica Nova, contact us at help@medicanova.net. But before I give you the tips how to reverse type 2 diabetes naturally, let's get an overall understanding, so you understand the really essence of it. Type 2 diabetes is a concerning disease because it affects the whole body, but also it can lead to other health conditions like kidney ailments, blurred vision, neuropathy, maybe tingling and numbness in your hands. If you have skin ailments like sores or ulcers on your wounds, that can maybe aggravate it in itself. But please keep in mind, type 2 diabetes is a completely preventable and reversible condition today. What does it take? It takes a complete change in your diet as well as lifestyle. So we want to bring in more exercise, we want to bring in homeopathic remedies, supplementations with natural products, as well as working on yourself, your mental and emotional perspective to life. All of that needs to be addressed in order to have a turnaround here, and it can be done. I also want to stress the topic of pre-diabetes. So the prevalence of pre-diabetics is also on the rise. Now, the people with pre-diabetes have blood glucose levels that are above normal, but below the defined threshold of sort of a diagnosed diabetes. Without proper intervention, and here the emphasis is on natural intervention, people with pre-diabetes most likely will become type 2 diabetics, usually within a decade. And that's why this video educates you regarding prevention, so you don't end up with these symptoms. But what are the overall symptoms? Well, you have usually an increased thirst, often with a dry mouth, which seems to be paradoxically here, frequent urination, especially during the night, but it can be also during the day. So you release more liquids of what you consume, feeling tired, exhausted all the time, unintentional weight loss. If you drop weight, without having changed your diet, that maybe is a trigger. Blurred vision, if you even see yourself in the night emptying the fridge, hunger out of sort of really weird times. Numbness and tinglings, I mentioned, in the hands and feet, generally dry skin, sores and ulcers on the extremities maybe. But overall, I would say there is a susceptibility to infections because your immune system is overstimulated. What are the causes of diabetes? Well, diabetes is an illness related to elevated blood sugar levels. And when you stop releasing and responding to normal amounts of insulin, especially after eating foods like carbohydrates, fats, and sugars, you may have diabetes. Insulin is a hormone that's broken down and transported to cells to be used as energy. That's why it's really important here to remember that it's released by the pancreas to, help the storage in general of sugar and fats in the body. However, people with diabetes don't respond to insulin properly, and that's why we have these rise of the blood sugar as well as these symptoms. So it's important to know that there are two different types of diabetes 1 and 2, and this video only focuses on type 2 diabetes, because with the type 1, of course, you're dependent on insulin. So type 2 diabetes is the most common form of diabetes. It usually starts, or you become aware about it sort of around the age of 40, especially if you're overweight. Weight plays a big part here. Type 2 diabetes is caused by insulin resistance. So what does that mean? It means you maybe produce enough insulin, your pancreas is perfectly fine, but it doesn't go through the cell wall, right? We understand now that inside your cell we have, it's like the powerhouse, the energy production situation, and if the insulin isn't getting through that, you're feeling tired. So type 2 diabetes is therefore a metabolic disease or disorder that's caused by high blood sugar. And the body can keep up for a period of time by producing maybe more insulin, but over time, the insulin receptors on your cells sites that burn out, right? They get exhausted, and eventually diabetes can affect nearly every system in the body. We talk about your energy level, your weight, your digestion, your sleep, your vision, and so on. But I also want to say there are some underlying sort of triggers or conditions which can aggravate the type 2 diabetes. And here we have maybe, having a poor diet, and we're going to look into that in a minute, being overweight, having high levels of cellular inflammation, sedentary lifestyle, experience high amounts of stress. Also, of course, genetic, having a family history of diabetes, your parents, your siblings, of course, you're more prone to it then. Having high blood pressure, also heart disease, hormonal conditions, if you're under functioning thyroid, polycystic ovaries, or Cushing's disease, all plays part of that. Also, I want to say exposure of toxins, harmful chemicals, a lot of viruses, as well as certain medications. They do interrupt the productions of insulin. So we talk about also the mental emotional aspect here, and sugar. Sugar is another means for love. It also means like gentleness, kindness, affection. And often in my practice with a diabetic patient, I see there is a sort of like recurring sadness, that they're lacking something, that this affection, this kindness, the hugs are missing in their lives. And don't get me wrong, but diabetes is also means like you have a problem, or the person has difficulty with enjoying the sweetness of life. So I refer here to Jacques Martel references, and he often says that a diabetic maybe would see life like, I therefore need to control my environment and those around me, right? They have to be very careful with their diet all the time. Because of my previous wounds, internally as well as externally. I'm experiencing an emotional subsistence. If I'm diabetic, I usually experience repetitive sadness, repressed emotions, stamped with unconscious sadness without any gentleness, which makes it a little bit harder. Gentleness has disappeared and has been replaced with ongoing pain. I have the impression that I must take it, right? I'm forced to struggle and take on life, people, maybe events as well. So there is not much choice here. You can see I try to compensate in every possible way, and I restrict myself in many ways, also with the diet. I become bitter towards life, which is why I find myself bitter, in general, and therefore I need to compensate with sugary things. There's a feeling like that they're not worthy of happiness and pleasure. And as I can't accept the little sweetness of life, I become diabetic, which consequently forbids me to eat the little sugary things in life. So, what's the positive affirmation here? Well, first of all, you accept what is. Also, you forgive the past in a more detached way, right? So, you're not so emotionally affected. You open yourself to life, knowing that it holds also beautiful moments for you. You have the birthright to experience beauty. I believe in myself and I don't need anyone necessary to lean on. I have the courage, also the self-determinations to create my own happiness. And it is by opening my heart that miracles will happen. So letting go of resistance will liberate me from this frustration, and I can live in harmony with life and its season. It's also like knowing that you are safe when somebody approaches you with tenderness and gentleness, and that you are able to, receive it. So it's about feeling like my life is filled with sweetness, and I wish you all the best on that. If you're interested in a health consultation, either for yourself and your children, contact me at Medica Nova at help@medicanova.net. Medica Nova is my practice for integrated and educational medicine. We offer a unique blend of natural and cutting-edge therapeutic tools from homeopathy, iridology, sclerology, systemic herbology, advanced biofeedback, and health and wellness coaching, and so much more. Book your appointment today. If you want to explore more about yourself, your wellness vision, what motivates you, and how to apply your strengths in achieving the very best of you, contact Medica Nova Wellness Coaching at help@medicanova.net for your 3 months coaching program. I am coaching you to be well. Let's get practical. I want to introduce you to this 6-step plan to reverse your type 2 diabetes naturally. Step 1, remove foods which don't, help your type 2 diabetes. In fact, they're triggers and they affect it negatively. And the first one is refined sugar. Refined sugar rapidly spikes blood glucose. It's the soda, it's the fruit juices or other sugary beverages. They're really the biggest culprit here. These forms of sugar enter the bloodstream rapidly and can cause extreme elevations in blood glucose. Grains, yes, especially if it's wheat or gluten-based. These are carbohydrates that are broken down quite quickly within a few minutes of consumption, and gluten can cause intestinal inflammation, which affects the hormone cortisol and leptin that can lead to these blood sugar spikes. Conventional cow's milk, because it contains A1 casein, which almost is similar to gluten. Again, here we have the cellular inflammation and the immune response. Alcohol, we talk about beer or sugary liquors, they're not good because they affect your kidneys and liver. GMO foods, we have, in this case, corn, soy, canola, they're all linked also to kidney and liver. Hydrogenated oils, anything rancid in your diet needs to go, from vegetables, oils. In here we have soybean oils, cottonseed oil, canola oil. Why? Because these oils are processed. They're heated with very high temperatures. Also, they're put in bleach or artificial dyes, which we don't want. So look for a good oil. So what are the foods you want to introduce? First of all, foods with high fiber. 90%, there was research that in the US, 90% of the population don't consume high fiber or enough high fiber. And high fiber foods help slow down the glucose absorption, regulate your blood sugar levels, and support detoxification. Also, foods high in chromium. Chromium is a nutrient that's involved in normal carbohydrate and lipid metabolism. It's very important because it can improve glucose tolerance factors in your body and naturally balance out blood glucose levels. So it's a very important nutrient here. It plays a role in the insulin pathways. Magnesium-rich food, healthy fats, medium-chain fatty acids. So you want to do coconut, red palm oil, right? They help to balance the blood sugar levels. Coconut milk, ghee, grass-fed, butter, and the same with the proteins, lean proteins, wild caught fish. We want to bring up the omega-3 oils rather than the omega-6 oils here. So anything from grass-fed beef, organic chicken, and so on. Food in general with a low glycemic load. So you can look on Google, we call it a glycemic index. It's a chart of food that tells you about the glucose raising potential of the food. Foods that are high in glycemic index are converted into sugar after being eaten more quickly than the low glycemic foods. So that's something I can advise here. In general, I don't like to sort of promote here on the video usually products, but right now I'm doing, that was sent to me called PROBIOFORM. It's a great product, comes from Sweden. It's probiotic, prebiotic, postbiotic. I mean, that's amazing. It's basically, it's a natural form, plant-based, based on sort of a natural cascade of fermentation process product. It's sort of liquid and you can make it into a little dispenser. I want to just talk a little bit about it because this product, PROBIOFORM, is utterly sugar-free. And that's why I want to share it with you. It's a probiotic which has no sugar. And that's what you need. Usually proper gut health comes from whole food sources, right? And not single strain probiotics produced in labs, which most of the time you get in your health food store. Commercial single strain or limited multi-strain probiotics often introduce only 10 to 25 strains and are usually freeze-dried, which then disrupts actually our microbiome, which is this complexity of our bacteria in our digestive system. So our microbiome typically includes about 2,000 bacteria, viruses, protozoans, and they're working together in a delicate equilibrium. So to support this, as I said, this complexity, this product, PROBIOFORM's formulation, includes a way more broader range of beneficial organisms, promoting therefore an environment where your body's unique microbiome blueprint can thrive naturally. It's almost a byproduct due to this fermentation process. They ended up with postbiotics, which is amazing. Usually if you get a good product out there, you get maybe prebiotics and probiotics, but not postbiotics. And these include organic acids like lactic acid, acetic acid, and butyric acid. So highly recommended. I put the link in your description box below where you can purchase it. I use it myself now and really feel like this is something my body likes, right, and thrives on. Step 3, you want to take some supplements in general. I'm going to give you the basics one, but also what I use in my practice. Chromium picolinate, 250 milligrams 3 times a day is absolutely important here. You can buy it in your health food store. It has positive outcomes by reducing also the cholesterol and triglyceride levels, your lipids, as well as your medication. In general, when you are on more conventional medication, it helps here as well. Cinnamon, yes, absolutely. Its ability to lower the blood sugar levels, improves your sensitivity to insulin. Fish oil we want to bring in, 1,000 milligrams definitely daily. Alpha lipoic acid, it's an antioxidant. It helps to turn glucose into fuel for the body, which we talked about before. Effectively improves insulin sensitivity, reduces symptoms of diabetic neuropathy, right, as well as the weakness, the pain, and the numbness that's caused by nerve damage. And you maybe heard about bitter melon extract. Again, it lowers the glucose levels and regulates the body's use of insulin. Yeah, if you want to go to a health food store and buy this product singly, that's fine. Here in my practice, I use systemic formulas called glucogenic and organgenic. That's really what my go-to is, and all these elements or these ingredients are inside, 2 products rather than 6. So that makes it a little bit easier. Step 4, you want to follow this eating plan to reverse diabetes on a daily basis. There has to be a self-determination. There has to be a courage and a willingness involved here to do this. So focus on getting plenty of clean protein, healthy fats, fiber into every meal, and that helps, and it's a good start. Exercise, step 5. Exercise is absolutely important here. It can help reverse diabetes quite naturally. Studies show that exercise improves blood glucose control, can even prevent and delay type 2 diabetes, while also positively affecting your blood pressure, heart health, cholesterol levels, and the quality of life. Exercise naturally supports your metabolism by burning fat and building lean muscle. I would say daily walks, 20 minutes after you work. If you, depending on your age, right, you will feel it out, but you have to move your body. I would say also burst trainings, cardio trainings, weight trainings, from 3 to 5 times a week. 20 to 40 minutes is here advised. Stretching exercises. I personally love Shaolin Qigong every day, flipping my legs in the living room. You don't even have to go to a gym. You can do that all in the comfort of your home. I talked about supplementation, and now I want to also introduce homeopathic remedies. They are fantastic here, and they will speed up the process of healing. Now, here I want to say, be very careful with homeopathic remedies in the sense of that they shouldn't be substitute to the conventional medication for diabetes. They are a supportive role, but they are so powerful that they can, for example, bring down high sugar levels or references in your blood glucose level within weeks. I've done it. I had a patient recently who was pre-diabetic, was diagnosed as on the borderline to full diabetic. Within 6 weeks, her references completely changed. So we can do that, right? It's not a problem. The first remedy I would like to introduce here is Abroma augusta, and the potency will be 6C. So that's the number behind the Latin name, and it is a low potency. You can get that over the counter. This remedy you maybe have to order online. It's not sort of a general remedy, but I would, really play with lower potencies, maybe 2 to 3 times a day for a month and see how it works. But here you need a professional homeopath as well. So Abroma augusta is the fantastic remedy for the keynote of diabetes when you feel like you're losing flesh and weakness. So it's weight loss, unintentional weight loss. the patients can greatly benefit from this remedy, and they have an increased thirst with a dry mouth, increased appetite, excessive urination maybe. There's also an excessive weakness felt after urination. The homeopathic remedies also works with sleeplessness in patients with type 2 diabetes. Overall, there's skin complaints, the boils, the carbuncles on the legs maybe, or at the extremities. But overall, there's a burning sensation in the body, prominent with this general symptomatology. It's a great, great remedy. We talked about also diabetics with vision problems. There's a remedy called phosphorus I can really recommend. Now, we talked about with Abroma augusta that there's a weakness, general weakness, particularly after urination. But if you are very, very weak and very exhausted, so you even can't go to the shop, to do your daily shopping, and basically you are experience extreme weakness, either mentally, physically, exhausted all the time, phosphoric acid is a wonderful remedy. Here the weakness even affects diabetic patients with the memory, they're forgetful, often that there's a history with profound sadness and grief. Something happened in their life where really, really affected here. It's a wonderful remedy, phosphoric acid. One of my favorite remedies is called Syzygium. I know it's a difficult name, Chambolanum. I write it down below. It's the best remedy to reduce your sugar levels. I've done it many times and it works. It acts promptly and quite efficiently in decreasing the sugar levels. So there is excessive thirst, excessive urination, of course, the normal diabetic symptoms. But this is also a really wonderful remedy for long-standing ulcers on your extremities. It's very helpful here. We talked about the first remedy, which was Abroma augusta for weight loss. We have a specific remedy called Gymnema sylvestre. That's a great remedy also where you see diabetes mellitus here, in this case with weight loss. It's almost like works as a tonic, and it helps patients to put on weight again and feel more energetic. All of these normal products in general contain Gymnema sylvestre as well, but it's good to get it in a homeopathic form as well. Homeopathy offers many other remedies in terms of specific symptoms. So we talked about retinopathy when the vision is affected. I already mentioned phosphorus, but we have arnica, belladonna, and lachesis. We have also remedies for kidney damage, right? We call it nephropathy. And here we maybe have lycopodium, arsenicum album, serum anguille, different remedies which we need to establish according to the totality, just the personality as well as the symptomatology of the patient. So that's why you need a professional. But even with the tingling and the numbness, the neuropathy, I mentioned phosphoric acid is a good remedy, but then we have sulfur or helonius. The skin ulcers, right? The diabetic skin ulcers are so prevalent, and this remedy, Syzygium chambolanum, next to Cicale cornutum, are fantastic remedies. They really help wonderful. Then we have homeopathic remedies indicated for constipation in diabetic patients, as well as weak memory or in general extreme weakness. So, contact Medica Nova, set up your appointment, and I take you through this whole case study, and we find a remedy which works for you. Look at your diet, introduce a good exercise regimen, bring in some supplements which work, and you will see there are fantastic results. So I hope this video has provided you with some useful information how to tackle this situation and have the courage to reverse your type diabetes successfully. Have a look at our website, medicanova.net, at the Medica Nova online education, again, where you will find wonderful educational and inspiring online courses for everyone. Prerequisites are not here required. I take you step by step through this course curriculums. You will love it. Medica Nova offers them through a wonderful learning system. So you can study from the comfort of your home via an app or on your computer, your iPad. And God, technology is so great here. So take care and enjoy your sweetness of your day and your life again. Take care. Much love.